My friends, this is a great time to become a channel member. Every week now I'm posting uncensored videos exclusively for my channel members, along with custom emojis and live streams for members at the Arch-Villain level where you get to talk to me directly. Please consider supporting this channel by clicking the link in the video description and joining us in our fight to save pop culture. And also, check out our Patreon and Subscribe-Star pages for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, including Harvey Cthulhu's insane podcasts, photos of my vast toy collection, and members at the Legionnaire level receive a signed photo, membership card, and certificate signed by me. You'll find the Patreon link in the video description as well. Thanks for watching, my friends, and now on to the video. Greetings, my friends. You know, it's a funny thing. Apparently, you can't spit into the faces of over half of all Americans with political rants, take a steaming dump on Snow White and all of its fans, and expect at the same time to be embraced by the American public. Who knew, right? Well, my friends, I'll tell you who didn't know, who didn't get that message, and that person is Rachel Zegler. That's right, friends, the star of the upcoming Snow White live-action movie, a remake of The Poseidon Adventure, or possibly The Towering Inferno. We don't know for sure which disaster movie it is until we see it and how it goes down, has either alienated fans with their social media political attacks and rants, or has been stained by two god-awful trailers for Snow White, one of which at this point is sitting at 2 million dislikes on YouTube, according to Matt McGloin of Cosmic Book News.
2 million dislikes, Doomcock? Well, that can't be the kind of reaction Disney was hoping for, especially with a remake of the classic movie that was the core of their brand and arguably put their company on the map. Are you saying Zegler is box office poison at this point? Or is she box office poisoned?
Well, that's the question, Harvey Cthulhu. Is it the projects, or is it Zegler, or a combination of the two factors? Honestly, I don't think it would matter if another actress was playing Snow White in this live-action abomination. The fact of the matter is, it's ugly, it's garish, and charmless compared to the original. The song excerpts we've heard from the soundtrack are completely wrong in tone. They're no longer sweet and innocent. They're no longer romantic. They're orchestrated to be big Broadway production numbers, and it comes across as insincere and plastic, especially when Zegler is surrounded by creepy CGI garden gnomes and immersed in a script that jettisons romance and turns Snow White into a revolutionary fighting for the people, a Che Guevara, if you will, essentially negating and trashing everything charming and beautiful and magical about the original animated movie, and soiling your own IP. For God's sakes, I have no idea what they think they're doing with this movie. I really don't. Now, of course, the powers that be will ignore all of these facts about the movie and attribute the 2 million dislikes and the many snarky comments in the video to review bombing, but anyone who tries to do that should just watch the trailer for themselves, and then, if they need reminding, watch the original movie, which is a timeless classic in every single possible way, and connect the dots. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. And it makes me wonder, Zegler and the theater grosses, is there a connection?
Hey, David Lynch Dune is the one true Dune. Try to change my mind.
I wouldn't even try, Harvey. Well, according to Variety, the big loser at the box office was, you guessed it, Zegler's latest film project. In their weekly box office report, they write, quote, "This weekend's only major new release, A24's horror comedy Y2K, failed to make a splash against Moana 2 and other Thanksgiving leftovers." The film debuted in 8th place with a disappointing $2.1 million from 2,108 theaters. It's one of the worst starts of the year for a film that opened in more than 2,000 locations. Critics and audiences dismissed the turn of the millennium disaster flick, which earned a dismal C- on CinemaScore and a 44% rotten average on Rotten Tomatoes. those sentiments don't bode well for word of mouth on Y2K, directed by Saturday Night Live alum Kyle Mooney and starring Rachel Zegler of West Side Story and the Hunger Games prequel fame. Unquote. Well, I would also add social media infamy when you get right down to it, and that may be a big part of the problem. Now, of course, let's look at it logically. $2 million seems absolutely dismal for a theatrical release, but the real question is, okay, how much was the budget for this Y2K movie? And there's the rub, as a certain Dane would say. Turns out the budget for Y2K was $15 million, a very low budget for a theatrical release, and one that should absolutely guarantee a profit. Not. Consider, theaters taking somewhere between 40 and 60% of the box office receipts right off the top, factor in advertising and so on, probably this thing would need to gross $30 million more or less to break even, probably more. So on this opening weekend, to quote Christopher Walken in True Romance, that's as good as it's gonna get, and it won't ever get that good again.
Oh dear. It's rarely good news when a Christopher Walken quote can be applied to any situation. Although indeed, Doomcock, True Romance is an outstanding movie. Can we talk about that for a spell instead of this crap?
I think in order to remind people that there are good things in the world, Harvey, we should start doing videos about classic movies, guiding seekers of excellence to these oases of quality in our pop culture desert. But for right now, let's finish up what this may mean for Zegler and possibly Snow White in 2025. Again, I can't say for sure which element was more responsible for Y2K's failure. Hell, it may simply be inadequate advertising and a crowded holiday slate of family-friendly films. I don't think the holiday season is the best time to release horror movies as a rule. This should have been out in early October, frankly, although with the new year approaching, I guess it was, in a sense, topical. They might have been relying on that marketing hook to drive them forward, and yet, there can be little doubt that Zegler has brought down a lot of hostility on her head, and this hostility may well transfer to her projects. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? The terrible movie or the insulting actress? We'll need more data to say for sure, but I think one thing is clear. The era of insulting your audience and arrogantly telling them to like it or lump it is over. Without respect, we reject. It's not just a slogan now. It should be gospel for Hollywood. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry, please subscribe, and please consider becoming a channel member. We could certainly use your support as we move forward into 2025. Ha 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 ha